Hey everybody, Daniel from the Venza Dutch office. Thanks for coming to another reaction video. We're glad you're here. Appreciate you taking the time to hear us out. With me, as always, Sean Shields from the Atlanta office. Yes, stylish dude. Okay, we got some friends. Let's find out who our victims. Volunteers are. You first, Michael.
Hi, I'm Michael, founder and CEO of Dailypoint. I'm very glad to be here.
Yeah,
A bit
yeah.
scared, of course.
Smiling, scared, but smiling. He's got the right attitude. Okay, Theresa, tell us about yourself.
I am Theresa Ellsworth. I'm the Director of Sales at Sertifi, and I am very excited to be here.
Okay, so we are going to share something. Sean's going to share something on his screen, and I've got a quick question for you. Okay, so biophilic design, stress reduction. Biophilic design and stress reduction for guests in a post-COVID world. It feels like you should almost have that spa voice when you read that article title. That was my attempt at a spa voice. Anyway, I found this kind of interesting. This is from our friends over at Hospitality Net, and it's a couple of weeks old, I think, the article, but I thought it was interesting. Emory Conference Center Hotel, formerly a resident of Atlanta, Georgia, years ago. I thought, oh, that's interesting. I know where that is. I've been there before for conferences, and anyway, so it outlines this concept, and I had not heard of biophilic prior to reading this article, but it outlines a few things. And if you don't mind, Sean, embracing natural light is one thing. If you wouldn't mind, just continue to go down. The next one is fresh air, eco-friendly updates. Technology creates time for outdoor leisure, unique spaces for gatherings. These are the things. Oh, last one is all-inclusive packages to reduce stress. So this is the kind of concept of biophilic. I don't know if this is a term, but it seems like a sizable, especially some of the top items with regards to open air and eco-friendly updates, specifically the eco-friendly. This seems like a big time capital investment. If this is a trend and this is the expectation, this seems like a sizable. These are not small software changes. These seem to be to me, it sounds like a wholesale reimagining of what a guest experience ought to be. Do you think it's worth it? Do you think hoteliers should lean into this? Is this the future? Is this what the expectation is going to be? Eco-friendly design. I mean, I love the idea, natural light. I love the idea of fresh air. Is this going to be what's expected? Do you think? There's been I've been in a lot of hotels that did not have fresh air and the design was not eco-friendly, right? So a sizable investment. Is it worth it? Is it the trend? What are your thoughts? Theresa, do you got an opinion on this one?
Yeah, so I think it depends on, I'm going to use a really cliche word, it's what's your vibe, right? So we're coming from a time where people were stuck inside, stuck indoors for a while, and we kind of found solace in the outdoors. I think it ties into wellness, and wellness is growing and growing and growing every year. So I do think it's worth it if that's what you're into. Some people or some hotels are attached to casinos, and fresh air is not as important in that type of environment. So it really depends on what your brand is, in my opinion.
It's, for some of these, you go to some of these conferences. I'm not going to name names, but recently, did I see you there at this conference, Michael, in Madrid recently, a few months ago? No, you weren't there.
No.
Anyway, there was no going outside. There was just really, and Madrid's a beautiful city, but the selection of the location was great for the conference, hall. But man, I mean, we were inside and that was it. There were no options, and it just kind of, you know, fell a little flat.
You know, in my opinion, fresh air helps you be creative. It helps get those new ideas flowing.
Yeah. That health and wellness for sure. Michael, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think fresh air, daylight is nothing really new, right? I think it's more a new buzzword how you market your product and to get awareness. I mean, and also all this eco-friendly thing. And what is the most eco-friendly hotel? The most eco-friendly hotel is a hotel with no guests, right? Nobody is forced to come to you. Nobody's forced to drive a car or jump into a plane. Well, honestly, I'm a bit sick of all this eco-friendly stuff right now. Yes, of course, you have to find your market niche, but from a certain size on, when your hotel has 200, 300, 400, 500 rooms, it's really hard to have your market niche, right? Because you cannot just think about this specific target group. You have such a broad target group, so you cannot create a product which is just limited to this couple people. So I think it's well, I'm not really into it, honestly.
Yeah. Well, and I think where I thought you were going to say is like the most eco-friendly car is the one that's already been built, rather than going and getting, you know, a new car with new materials, right? It's you know, it's the idea of reusing what's already been built. So the idea of knocking down hotels because they're not eco-friendly to build another one is not necessarily very eco-friendly. Yeah, it's a tough call, but I definitely agree also with you, Theresa, that you really knowing your guests. I think it's interesting that Emory Conference Center really is leaning into this, and maybe it is a differentiator for other conference areas. They have the benefit of having the space to do it, and you know, some locations to be a conference destination don't really necessarily have. I mean, there's a hotel that's attached to our Dutch office here that's in the same complex. If they wanted to create an eco open air experience, there's nowhere they can go. I mean, it's already boxed in. So what are they going to do? It's kind of interesting.
Right. And are you starting from scratch? Do you have all the land to do it, or are you renovating? Big difference. Yeah.
Is this going to retrofit this new biophilic? Am I saying that right?
Oh, well, on the other hand, it's always good to watch what they do. They spend a bunch of money. If it works, nice, then do something similar and benchmark it. And competition is always good, right?
Yeah. Let somebody else take the risk of being the early adopter to this new trend.
Definitely.
Yeah. Good stuff. Well, thank you both for your feedback, for your thoughts on this, and thanks everybody out there for watching this reaction video. Biophilic, what's your take on biophilic, Sean Shields? This is the most dangerous part of my day, is asking Sean his opinion, so this is fun. Biophilic.
I'm glad you asked.
Jeez.
No, I think retrofitting is key, and we cannot grade all hotels on the same score. If you're a huge downtown in New York, landlocked, structure, right? I think retrofitting is going to be key. How we, our water supply to rooms, how is water being used, right? All of these things. Yeah. My dad was a plumber, it's very close to home for me, right? So it's like, hey, running this stuff in there, I think just going to be air ducts, retrofitting. That's how we're going to have to do it. I mean, all these new little places, they have an unfair advantage.
Yeah. Starting from scratch is always nice, All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate you tuning in, and we'll see you at the next reaction video.
Thanks. Bye-bye.